Chương trình này được bảo trợ bởi
Family Joy, tổ ấm y tế của mọi gia đình, 714 898 0765.
Hi, welcome back to the OC Health and Education Show on Little Saigon TV. I'm your host, Julie. Today we have a great opportunity to continue our conversation with Chen and Mr. Pham. Jay is an active duty reserve and a lieutenant commander. Oh, look, I'm getting better at this. Like I was mentioning, these words are so hard for me because we hear the word veterans, but we really don't know the difference. Even when you say GI Bill earlier, I didn't know what that was.
Right.
It's something we hear about, but you know, I'm so happy that you're reserving the time to educate us and to share with us some of these things. One of the things that we talked to just before the commercial break, Jay, was the staggering number of suicides of veterans on a daily basis. What are your thoughts on that, and what can we do to help our veterans making that transition between military life and civilian life? I think that's there's a gap in between.
Yes. So what we have to understand is that not all wounds are physical, that when you are deployed abroad, you can get PTSD. Right, from seeing things, from experiencing things, and just because you don't have a cut or stitches doesn't mean you weren't impacted. And so we really need to make a bigger effort to destigmatize mental health issues, make sure that these veterans feel comfortable coming forward, and that we provide those services.
And I know it's hard because, you know, I mean, I have a husband. Just to get him to go to the doctor is so hard.
Right.
If he sprained something, and I think he hurt his arm, and for years he won't go, and it gets to a point where he can't work and he can't do things, and he finally goes and gets a shot.
Right.
So I know that convincing a man to get services is so hard.
Yeah.
I was also part of an event called Distinguished Gentleman's Ride in Orange County, and it's an event that's global, that thousands and hundreds of thousands of people get together to raise awareness for men's mental health, in addition to prostate cancer.
Yeah.
You know, but the men's mental health component is so important. I really love what you said, that not all wounds are physical.
Right.
So chú, not all wounds are physical. Chú, đó là chú giảng cho con về tiếng Việt Nam đi. Chú hiểu về cái đó là cái chữ đó gì?
Tại vì cái vết thương đó, cái vết thương đó nó không có hẳn là cái vết thương đó chỉ có trên cái body của mình thôi, physical thôi.
Không phải là bề
nhưng
ngoài
mà
thôi
nó
hả?
là mental. Ngay cả những cái người mà cựu quân nhân đó, the Vietnam vets, you know, the Vietnamese veterans, when they live in this country here, even they not get wounded in their body, but their soul, because they lost the country, and then they lost everything, and then, you know, one day they are somebody, and the next day they, you know, everything clear out, they don't even have nothing left for them.
Yeah, because you know, there's a book that says, I think what the body knows, and it talks about generational trauma.
Right.
And that's why, you know, when I talk in the community, I was like, oh, I want to build a center, whether it's a Vietnamese culture center, an Asian American cultural heritage center.
Right.
It's to help us heal from the wounds that are not physical.
Right.
I think when we find a place where we can feel safe and to be ourselves and to be together, I think that's so important.
Yeah.
As we celebrate Veterans Day, I know there's so many events in the community. Are there anything in Garden Grove or within the Little Saigon area that you're aware that's coming up?
Yeah, I did want to point out one thing you had said about having that community. So
Yes.
as a member of the Board of Trustees at Mount Sac, we created a Veterans Resource Center on our college campus, and it's one of the most renowned ones in California. Even Governor Brown came to visit.
Okay.
And that creates a safe space for these veterans so that they can be together and they're comfortable asking for help. So I think those types of veterans centers are really important. I'm really glad that we built one at Mount Sac. But in terms of, you know, other community events that recognize veterans, I know that in Garden Grove, the Elks Lodge is very, very active, and they're having a Veterans Day event, which, you know, I spoke with some of the members. It's going to be a really big event that people should try to participate in.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. We're definitely going to put that flyer up so our community can come out and turn out and show their support. And Julie thấy đó là trong thành phố Garden Grove có một cái tổ chức ở chỗ Elks Lodge để cho highlight and cái appreciation cho cái người veteran chú. Ở cộng đồng Việt Nam của mình thường chừng nào mình làm cái Veterans Day celebration là mình thường làm ở đâu vậy chú?
Bên Veteran Day, người Việt Nam của mình đó thì là họ có rất là nhiều cái ngày mà họ có thể get together. Giống như mỗi each unit they have the reunion day, and so they all get together. And then mỗi năm nó có ngày 30 tháng 4, ngày Black April.
I'm so glad that a lot of our veterans got together to get in the community to build that. And so I continue to, support all of our veterans, as a refugee or an immigrant from the Vietnam War. Many of us are displaced, but we're always, that's why you see that our Vietnamese community is so patriotic, and we're so grateful for all of our veterans. So thank you, Jay, for being on the show. Is there any last remark that you want to address to the community?
Yeah, I just want to thank Little Saigon TV and Julie for giving me this opportunity, and thank you to the listeners for taking the time to learn about Veterans Day and why it's so important to recognize the service of our veterans and to reach out, give them a helping hand this Veterans Day, and thank them for their service, for the sacrifices that they made. Thank you.
Thank you, Chen. As we do our work in the community, is to remember that we have this brotherhood and sisterhood, that we have a shared purpose to make this world a more, a better place, but a place that we can respect each other. So I thank both of you for all your services in the community, and especially for all of our veterans who sacrificed their life and their families and so much for all of our freedom. Thì Julie cũng cảm ơn quý vị đã theo dõi chương trình hôm nay, và cũng hy vọng quý vị đã luôn luôn ủng hộ mỗi người veteran đang giúp cho mình được có rất nhiều tự do. Julie chúc quý vị rất nhiều sức khỏe và may mắn. Cảm ơn quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV.